Hello friends, my name is Aryan Shial and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today's topic is going to be on the overview of structure of standards and auditing. So guys, before I start off, let me just explain to you the types of services we're going to discuss in this video. So the types of services can be classified into two types. One is the assurance services and the other is the related services. Okay, let's understand these both with the view of an example. So there is a company called A Limited. In this example, you can see there's a company called A Limited. Okay, this A Limited has to prepare preparation of financial statements. So which the management takes. The management is a maker of preparation of financial statements. Why does A Limited prepare financial statements? For the users of financial statements. Who are the users of financial statement? Employees. Why do the employees need to use financial statement? They need to use because they have to see if the job is secure, will they get the payments on time. If they're not getting, they'll be concerned, so they want stability from the job, so they'll view the financial statement. Government, to collect the taxes on time, on revenue on time, to get the right income, to get the taxable income, they'll have to observe. Banks, financial institutions, to provide loan facilities, they need to check a financial statement. Potential investors, to invest in your company's shares, they need to know the correct financial statement position. Suppliers, to send you raw materials on credit basis, they need to know your financial statement position. Credit rating agencies, to give you credit rating, to approve your credit rating, credit worthiness, they have to see your financial statements. Creditors, to give you credit purchases, they have to view your financial statements, right? So basically employees, government, banks, financial institutions, potential investors, suppliers, credit rating agencies and creditors, all these are what users of financial statements. And these financial statements which A Limited will produce with the help of its management, which will prepare the financial statement, will be helpful for the users of financial statement. Okay, and this financial statement will impact the economic decisions of the that the users will be making. Suppose they have A Limited shows a very false balance sheet. Basically they window dress. What is window dressing? Window dressing is falsifying your financial information and presenting a clear picture when in the ideal terms, when in the real terms your financial position is very poor, but you show a very good picture the users of financial statement, so that they invest in your company, so that they give you the loans, so that your employees stick with you. So all those fraudulent activities you do and show a very good picture of your financial statement, which is not the case actually. So that will impact the economic decisions of the users. I already gave you example in the last few videos that there was this investor who invests on the company shares, but later the company shares falls down because that company had falsified the information, financial information earlier. Okay, but the truth never stays long out, right? It comes out one day forever, one day for sure. So that's what happens. And then when it comes out, what happens is the investor lost all his money. So that's what the example is. So A Limited used the financial statements, you understood, right? Now management prepares financial statement. Yes, but in some firms, if you go in your articleship, in practical life, if you see in real life situations, CA helps in preparation also for few clients who are not well versed or are unorganized. See, there are few clients who are still traditional, who follow traditional methods, who are not aware of your. They still maintain ledger books. They still maintain your improper accounting systems. They just write opening cash balance, closing cash balance. They close it on daily basis. So there are many clients who work in this way. They are not really well versed in your accounting systems. They're not well versed with your debit credit exactly. So what happens is they're not well versed with tally. So because of all these reasons, what happens is the chartered accountant has to help them. And see, anyone can help them, but this, for this example, you have to consider this as chartered accountant. It can be any other person, can be any other person who has a good knowledge of accounting. He can prepare the financial statements for A Limited, right? But suppose in our case, let's assume it is a CA. So it can be either a CA or it can be any other person who can prepare, right? But if it's any other person, let's keep that discussion later. If it is a CA, what will happen? A Limited has to appoint a CA now to prepare what? Financial statements. So they appoint CA ABC for help in preparation of financial statements. Okay. So CA ABC is appointed. After they appoint CA ABC, he has to guide and help them to prepare on financial statements. What is ABC doing now? CA ABC doing now? He is providing a related service. Example, accounting service. Example, accounting service. What is he providing? He's providing the accounting service. He's providing a related service. Same way, now the same scenario for preparation of financial statement, you take it to say you have branches. You have what? Branches you have. Your head office operating in Chennai or say in Delhi, and you have branches in Chennai, Bangalore, etc. Okay. So you are appointed as an auditor to gather all the financial information from all these branches, including the and add with the head office and get a total picture of the financial statement of the firm. So you're compiling data from various branches and bringing it all together. This is called as compilation engagements. And this is also like accounting services, but basically this is a related service. So chartered accountant does many more things. He does advisory, he does legal things. There are many things that chartered accountant does other than just assurance services. Okay, taxation related services, so relating to tax calculations and all. There are many services basically, right? So all those services are called as related services. Actually, as per this thing, chartered accountant is not required to file your ITR. But in real life situation, if you see, the chartered accountant does prepare. He does file the returns, right? So it is also related service. Okay, filing of ITR and all this is also related service only. So it comes into related service. So now you understood what is related services. Now let's understand the second half, which is what related services is done. Let's understand the assurance services now. So basically, can this same CA ABC be the maker, that is a preparer who prepared the financial statements, and he can be the checker also at the same time? The answer is no, he can't. I already explained this in the very first video I made. Okay, so the maker and the checker of the financial statement cannot be the same person, right? So they cannot be the same persons. Fine. So guys, now let's discuss the assurance services, right? So basically, assurance services, can the maker and the checker be the same? No, they can't, right? So the company A Limited, however, they didn't prepare the financial statement on their own. They took help of a chartered accountant who helped them. It's not like he exactly prepared everything, but he just helped them to change the books of accounts from traditional methods to maybe he input it in the tally. He made a firm data in the tally. So that's also preparing financial statement, right? So that's what related services was. Here, the A Limited will have to hire a new chartered accountant who is not CAABC. He has to be someone else other than CAABC because maker and checker can't be the same. So A Limited appoints a new chartered accountant by the name CAXY. Now this chartered accountant, why they got to check. So the maker is ready, they need to check their financial statement. So for that they appointed CAXYZ. Okay, so A Limited appoints CAXYZ for expressing opinion and reporting. Correct. So now overall objective of audit, what is it? You have to see the previous lecture. To see the financial statements are free from material misstatement. To report or to express opinion. To see if the financial statements are prepared in accordance with applicable financial reporting framework, Ind AS, as in the case of India. In the case of UK, it is IFRS or IAS. In the case of US, it is US GAAP. Okay, this is what we discussed in the overall objective. Other than this, we discussed to communicate as required by the standards on auditing, and auditors' findings also should be communicated, and to report on the financial statement, which we will discuss in SA 700. This was what we discussed for overall objective of audit. So basically, now the CAXYZ will express an opinion on the financial statements of A Limited, which was prepared by CAABC. After he sees it, reviews it, he will express opinion and he will have to provide an audit report. This audit report with his signature will be seen by the users of financial statements. So what is basically CAXYZ doing? He is assuring the users of financial statements that the financial statements are good, they are sound, they are correct. There is no problem in his opinion. If he says like this, they'll all start investing, they'll all start giving loans, everything. So the auditor CAXYZ's opinion matters, and the report he produces matters a lot, okay, in audit. So that is why he is assuring the users of financial statements. So what is he basically doing? He is providing assurance services. This is what assurance means basically, right? What is assurance services? You are assuring the users of financial statement. You are assuring them that the financial statements are presenting a clear picture. There is no fault in the financial statements. They are prepared in accordance with the essays. They are clear from any material misstatement. They are free from material misstatements. And then the use of financial statements will be impacted by this. And they'll make economic decisions such as purchasing shares, investing, giving loans, sticking with the same firm as an employee. So all this will happen in the background. You all must be wondering from where I'm telling you all this information. This is all from your auditing pronouncements book. Auditing pronouncements book. Okay. This is very important to start before we read the standards on auditing. So assurance services is covered, rated services is covered. Now let's understand the types of assurance. Types of assurance is very simple. First is absolute, last is no. So absolute assurance is what? Not possible. I said you already, absolute assurance, 100% assurance you cannot give as an auditor. So that is not possible. So we should not discuss this further now. Same way, no assurance, 0% assurance is not allowed. You cannot go for an audit and say I did zero assurance. You did no assurance. You cannot say this. So this is also gone out of the picture. Only two things which can be there is, one is reasonable assurance and one is limited level assurance, also called as moderate level. So what is reasonable assurance? Less than 100%, but it will still be a sufficiently higher level. Maybe say 90%, say 75%, 80%, 65%. All these are reasonable assurance. It's high but less than 100. Okay. So this will mean as audit. I'll explain you why I'm saying this right now. Okay. Now next, if you come down, okay, if you come down, there is limited level assurance, which is also called as moderate level. So absolute is the highest, reasonable is the second highest, third is the limited level. It may be like 45%, 35%, 40%, 25%. So limited level assurance means moderate level of assurance. This can mean review and assurance. Why I am saying this audit, review, assurance, I will make you understand later in the end of this video. Okay. Yeah. So no assurance is not allowed. So let's not discuss that. So now after understanding all this, one last thing you have to understand is what are types of financial statements. So basically guys, there are two broad categories of financial statements for this understanding this whole lecture. One is historical financial statement and the other is other than historical financial statement. One is historical financial statement, the other is other than historical financial statement. And in that other than historical financial statement, you have three more. Actually you have many more, but we are discussing three here. So you have 2.1 as projected financial statement, 2.2 as summary financial statement, 2.3 as interim financial statement. So now let's discuss each of those a little. So what is historical financial statement? Historical financial statements means as of the closing date, the audited financial statements of parent and its subsidiaries for the immediately preceding 3 fiscal years consisting of balance sheets and the related consolidated statements of income, stockholders' equity and cash flows for such fiscal years. So simply saying as of the closing date means what? You can see as 31/3/2020 is the closing date of last financial year, right? From that date, the audited financial statements of parent and subsidiaries means holding and subsidiary, or you can say head office and branch. Okay, for what? Immediately preceding 3. So if you see last year financial statement is what? 19-20. That one 18-19 and 17-18. 17-18, 18-19 and 19-20 are the preceding 3 fiscal years financial statements. And the balance sheets consisting in them, The related consolidation statements of income means income statement, P&L basically. Stockholders equity means basically the statement of changes in equity. Cash flow statement means cash flow statement. Okay, so all this for the last 3 years from the date closing date of this year. Okay, for 3 fiscal years is called as historical financial statement. Now, what is interim financial statement? Historical is done. The second is other than historical. In other than historical, let's understand what is interim. Interim financial statements are financial statements that cover a period of less than 1 year. Okay, interim financial statements contain the same documents as will be found in the annual financial statements. Right? The interim financial statements contain the same documents as will be found in the annual financial statements. The documents are the same, but they will cover a period less than 1 year. That's the difference. Okay, it will be during the year basically. Now the next one, summary financial statements. So the key points for summary financial statements they have given is they are derived from the audited financial statements only. Okay, so they are derived from the audited financial statements prepared using a general purposes special purpose framework. Basically, whatever financial statement you have, a summary of that is made. They contain what? Less detail. Only the important detail from the audited financial statement they contain. But they have consistent and they are presented in a very good manner. So they are basically like a summary financial statements you call them. Okay. Now the last one is projected financial statements. Now what are these projected financial statements? Projected financial statements incorporates current trends, expectations to arrive at a financial picture that management believes it can attain as a future date. Okay, so basically projected financial statements, what it incorporates the current trend going on, the current expectation they know, and they arrive at what the financial position the company might reach. They will project it in advance as a future date. Okay, and they will make the income statement, financial statements as per they think what can happen after a year or after 3-4 months, what can be the projected financial statement. They prepare it. So these projections are made for the balance sheet and all that. This is called as projected financial statement. So we have understood the types of financial statement in detail. Now we will have to come to the last part of this lecture, wherein I'm going to club everything we read. Okay, so we have services of two kinds. One is assurance, second is related. If it is related, then simple. What are the standards applicable? SRS. They are SRS. You call them as not SRS, you call them as SR and a small s. SRS. Okay. So standards on related services. Standards on related services. So this is done. Standards on related services. Related service we discussed and the standards for them. From where do they start? They start from 4,000 and they go on till 4,999. 4,699. Okay. The amount of standards which are there for your syllabus will be less only. Don't get scared with the number. Okay. There are many gaps in these numbers. So there are like only 2 to 3 that will apply for exams. Okay. Considering what kind of exam you're writing. And then assurance services as we discussed. Assurance services can be for two types of financial statement. One is for historical and one is for other than historical. Other than historical is what? Projected, interim and summary financial statements. So if it is for projected financial summary or interim, then you will provide a limited assurance moderate level. Okay, what will you provide? You will provide a minimum level, say a moderate level of assurance. You will provide a moderate level of assurance. So for them you will have to apply standards on assurance engagement, SAEs. Okay, SAEs, standards on assurance engagements. So other than historical financial statement, now you will have to deal with limited assurance moderate level. Okay, limited assurance. So they will be called as SAEs, standards on assurance engagements. Right. Now if it is historical financial statement, there can be two types of what do you call that, assurance. Either it can be reasonable, less than 100%, but high risk areas covered, and second it can be limited level, moderate level assurance 25%, 35%, 40%. If it is reasonable assurance, you are covering a lot. So I asked you to remember a term called as audit over there, right? Reasonable assurance means audit. But because reasonable assurance is something you actually do as an auditor. You will not do fully, but you will not do less also. Okay, so that is called as standards of auditing. Audit. The audit is a key word here. Okay, so what is it called? It's called as standards of auditing. It starts from 100 and goes on till 999 series. Okay, but for your exam you will be having 200 series, 300 series, 400 series, 500 series, 600 series and 700 series as per the recent announcements. Okay, for final I'm not exactly sure, but I think for inter that is the case. Okay, and the second one is limited level. So limited level means you're just reviewing or assuring. I said you to remember two words there, review and assurance. So in historical financial statements, if you see a review, in other than historical, you call it as assurance. Okay, assurance. So if it's a review now, standards on review engagements. It's called as standards on review engagements. What are they starting from 2000 to 2699? So 2699. So basically, if I have to make you memorize the definitions now, okay, it's going to be a very easy task, because if I ask you what are standards of auditing, you can easily say standards of auditing are those standards for assurance services of historical financial statements. Standards of auditing are those standards for assurance services to review, or you can say for historical financial statements to give reasonable assurance. Okay, you can make this as one definition. I'm giving you just an idea of how to outline the definition. And then this one, standards on review engagements, you can say as it are those assurance services which review the historical financial statements at by giving a limited level assurance or a moderate level assurance, and hence are called as standards on review engagements. Here, standards on assurance engagements are those assurance services which are other than the for which you do assurance of other than historical financial statements, and these are called as, and you do to limited level or a moderate level, and they are called as standards on assurance engagements. And if it's related services and not assurance services, then you'll do for you'll have standards on related services. Okay, so standards of auditing starts from SA 100 to 999. Standards on review engagement starts from 2000 to 2699. Standards on assurance engagement starts from 3000 to 3699, and standards on related services start from 4000 to 4699. Okay, all this together. Okay, the definition of standards of quality control, if you see, is all the firms and entities should do standards on auditing, should have review engagements on historical financial statements, should do assurance services, and should do related services. Okay, so standards of quality control is what? SQC1 means all these four. Okay, SQC1 means all these four. So this is what table we have discussed now. SQC full form is standards of quality control. Okay, in this quality control you will read in essay 220. Fine, and it's usually all teachers and everyone will covers it with essay 220 only. So when you read 220, if you just give a glance to SQC1, there are actually no questions asked really on this topic, but yeah, you can just give a glance, no harm. Okay, so this is covered, and now let's understand one more thing. So this is your auditing pronouncements book. Okay, so annexure, if you see, the structure of standards issued by the Auditing and Assurance Standards Board under the authority of Council of ICAI, right? So structure of standards issued by the Auditing and Assurance Boards under the authority of Council of ICAI. So who issues standards? Auditing standards essays are issued by the AASB, Auditing and Assurance Standards Board, AASB. Okay, under whose authority? Under the authority of the Council of ICAI. ICAI is governed by which Act? Chartered Accountants Act 1949. And also Code of Ethics, other relevant announcement from ICAI. Okay. So standards of quality control. That's what they have mentioned the topmost. If you see, as for what I taught you, they have mentioned the topmost. Right. Services which are covered with the pronouncement of Auditing and Assurance Standards Board under the authority of Council of ICAI. There are two types of services, as I mentioned: assurance, related service. What is the framework for assurance engagements? And related service, directly you can see that they have put standards on related services. For framework of assurance engagements, you have three types. If it is other than historical, then it is stands on assurance engagements 3002-3699. If it's a framework for assurance engagements, but it is assurance engagements, assurance services for audit and review of historical financial institutions, you have two kinds. One is stands on auditing. If you are doing recent assurance, then stands on auditing. If assurance, then it is standards on review engagements. Auditing means 199 and 100 to 999, and this is review engagement is 2000 to 699. Okay, let's see if there's something more important. So if you want to know what this AASB is in detail, you can look at this objectives. Okay, so what they do is to just formulate engagement standards, quality control, statement of auditing, to review existing standards. They keep updating guidance notes and all that, so you can easily remember these 2 points. I think these three are like very easy points, and then you can even read this one, right? So they asked this question for 4 marks. The objectives and functions of AASB, very simple: to review the existing emerging auditing practices worldwide, identify areas in which quality control, engagement, what we read, auditing need to be developed. Okay, to formulate engagement standards, quality control standards, auditing standards, all this by the authority of Council of Institute, which we just read now. Okay, to review continuously, they have to keep reviewing standards and auditing to see if there are some changes required and to make those changes. To formulate the general clarifications wherever necessary on issues regarding or arising from standards. So anything else is there? Let's just have a look quickly. See, this whole book, to be honest, I don't think I have seen anyone read the whole book. Okay, yeah, I think this is going to be fine, this much. Okay, so this is done, guys. So now let's just check if anything else is left. Okay, so basically to end up this discussion, we can understand from this now. Okay, so standards on auditing: to ensure the information provided in financial statements are of high quality. To ensure that the financial statements are of high quality, the information provided in the financial statements are of high quality and are acceptable worldwide, the AASB under the Council of Institute of Chartered Accountants has formulated few standards. Okay, these are in line with the international standards issued by the International Auditing Assurance Board. Like how in India we have AASB, in abroad in UK and all we have International Auditing Assurance Standard Board. Okay, so they have this one I addition in front of their AASB. Understood? Standards issued by AASB include quality control, auditing. What is quality control? For all services. What are services? Assurance as well as related. In assurance you have assurance also, engagement also. Under engagement standards, these standards are applicable to all auditing firms. SQC standards are applicable to all auditing firms which perform audit. If you are performing audit, you are applicable. And if they review historical financial statement, including assurance and related service engagements. So basically, as we discussed, all the 4 standards combined: review, assurance, related service engagements, everything combined together is standards on quality control, giving quality for all these standards. Okay, and in this also you review what historical financial information. Okay, this thing, all these four I discussed the definition with you already. In simpler words, whenever an independent examination of financial information is carried on for any entity, whether business motive is to make profit or not, the size of entity is big or small, even if the entity has any legal form, unless any law specifies something else, the essays will be applicable. So the standards on auditing will be applicable. Simple words will be applicable on any entity, whether there is a business motive, no business motive, whether it's a profit organization, whether it's a non-profit organization. Standards on auditing will be applicable on all the firms. Whether it's a small scale firm, whether it's a mid-size firm, whether it's a big size firm, it's a big four, doesn't matter. The size of entity is not a matter. It will be applicable on any firm. The essays will be applicable on all entities. Okay, all essays are interlinked. There are many essays and all interlinked. Like essay 500 and 501 is interlinked. So there are many essays that are interlinked. Okay, essays are interlinked and have to be applied in unity. You cannot try to apply them in separate. When you are applying or seeing practical questions, you have to think your mind in a way that you try to interlink those essays together. Okay, like when you are discussing about essay 500, after discussing that you might have to write opinion, and for that you have to refer which standard 700 and 705. So you will be mentioning those standard references also in your answer. That will fetch you more marks. The number given to essay is similar to numbering system followed for international. So basically, how the international AASB has given the numbers for their standards, we have also kind of followed the same way, and our AASB has followed the same kind of numbering pattern. Okay. Review engagements, all this we discussed already. You can give a glance. Okay. And then these are the standards. SQC 1 is called as this. These are the standards which we'll be discussing. You don't have to separately try to mug, okay? Don't try to mug the standards names just like that. I'm just giving a view of the standards to you. So these are the standards which we'll be covering. In totality, if you see, there are 35 standards of auditing. This thing is 35. SQC is only 1. So 35 plus 1 is 36. This is usually your CA inter and CA final portion right now, I think. But earlier, I think in final, I'm not sure if it's still there or not. Even these things were there. Review engagements, assurance engagements, and this thing. So basically 9 more standards you can say. What is this? 9 more standards. So 45. And now in they have removed these 3 also. This was also there. I'm not sure, so please check it once. What is applicable in your syllabus? Go and check it in your syllabus. I mean your ICA material. So this essay 800, 805, 810 are also there. I think they're not there for inter, I'm sure, but I'm not sure about final. Okay, so basically the total, if you see, 2 plus 2 plus 2, 6 standards are there here. 2 plus 2 plus 2, right? 6 plus these 3, 9. 9 plus 36. Okay, so there are around 45-46 standards. Totally, auditing covers 45 to 46 standards. So guys, this was it. I hope now you have an overall overview of the structure of standard auditing, about AASB, about IAASB, and what are review standards, what are assurance standards, what are related service standards, what are standards on auditing, what is SQC 1. You have an overview now. So with this, now we shall be beginning the essay series from the upcoming lectures next day onwards. I mean from tomorrow onwards, I'll be starting the essay series. We'll be starting with the 200 series. Once the 200 series is done, I shall make you after each standard, like if I take essay 200 tomorrow, suppose. Okay, we'll memorize the name for essay 200. When I take 210 next day, we'll revise essay 200 name and 210. The same thing we should follow for the coming 35 days. And eventually you will realize that you have ended up remembering all the 35 standards or 36 standards, whichever is applicable for your exam. Okay, without trying to mug it once, if you read it like this, you can easily remember the standards on auditing. Okay. And if you all want, I will make a video on how to mug the standards also, but I don't think it's necessary. By doing like this also, you can cover it simply. Okay guys, thank you so much. For any doubts, please feel free to contact me anytime. I shall please leave your comments in the comment box. Let me know how you like this video. Please support my channel. Please like, share, subscribe, press the bell icon for notifications. Stay in touch and clarify your doubts. You can message me if you have too many doubts. You can give me a call on my WhatsApp number. I shall discuss that with you in private, or you can approach me on my Instagram, Arihanshial, my username, and on my Gmail, arian@gmail.com. So these are the places I can be found. In Facebook, Arihanshial again. So all these doubts which you have, you can use all these social media platforms to contact me. Okay guys, thank you so much. It was a pleasure sharing this lecture with you guys. This is a little long lecture, I guess, 36 minutes. Hope you all enjoy it. Thank you so much. Bye.